for by the following. Ohio Neck and Back Pain Relief Center, Scott M. Gray, D.C., across from the Marion Center between TSC and Kroger. For further information, dial 740-386-6580. Also located on the net at goodbackbadback.com. That's goodbackbadback.com.
Scott Spears back with you on a Tuesday edition of The Exchange, joined by Charlie Evers, Marianne Michaels, Martha Dowse, Shannon O'Neill, and two ladies from the Tea Party who were on yesterday's program, and we're going to introduce you to them again in just a moment. But we need to give the answer to yesterday's quizzer question. Name the unlikely media mogul who owned World Championship Wrestling. It was Ted Turner who owned World Championship Wrestling. R.F. Ted Turner.
You know, you don't hear much about him anymore. In fact, I haven't heard anything.
He was kind of like Howard Hughes. I think he ended up kind of like Howard.
Well, he sold all his properties off.
Yeah.
He sold CNN.
Well, he gave all his money away, too.
He did do that. Yes, he did. I think he's living in nice retirement now. Before we go over to Fascinating Facts, let's show the audience again our big box over here. Because if you didn't watch the show yesterday, here's the story. Charlie got a box delivered once again, but this box is not to be opened until Halloween. So we've got a good 2.5 months before this thing's going to blow, Charlie. And who knows what's in that thing?
Right.
Well, don't sell it or anything. Holy... Charlie will get more pepped up as we get... You know, that box could blow up behind you as we're sitting here.
I'm underwhelmed.
It's sickening.
You know what I think it is?
What is it?
I think it's a human mannequin, and it's a male mannequin that's bald.
What if somebody came out of there one day, Charlie, when you're nodding off during the program and shaved your head? Whoa, the ratings would jump for that. Fascinating facts, Charlie.
What our guests, they might not realize, but I've had a campaign against, I just don't like men with shaved heads. I think they look like clothespins. Including that funny guy on TV that won't touch anybody's hands.
Howie Mandel?
Yeah, Howie Mandel. He's about as crazy as all of them. Or crazier.
He's a strange one.
Yeah, he is.
He is a strange one.
Men without, naturally bald, I have no qualms. But when a guy shaves his hair with a razor, and he could hop on a clothesline and hold clothes down.
Make friends everywhere you go, Charlie. Here we go. What do you got? What's the fact today?
Okay, this is another. The fact today no one would ever guess. Out at the intersection of Route 309 and the Route 23 interchange there, our interchanges, of course, do not hold a candle to the ones in Wyandotte County, the modern interchanges the state of Ohio put up there. But our interchanges are kind of dumpy looking, but they've let them overgrow in weeds. And the bottom, the cement strip that runs underneath the overpass and ahead of it are full of weeds. Now, I used to have an office across from the interchange there on Route 95. I used to go out and mow the weeds in the middle of the highway. People would yell at me, "Get off the road!" I said, "I'm cutting the weeds." Can you imagine how impressive Marion must be to a visitor when they comes into town and sees prairie grass growing around the island there in the interchange? That's my comment.
Always positive, always promoting.
Always.
Oh, I feel so uplifted after that. Marianne,
You were out mowing grass?
Not really. I never was horticultural.
Yeah.
Something like that. Horticultural.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah, right.
Marianne, words of wisdom, Tuesday.
Well, these words come from Lauren Bacall, and she was well, I think she's still living, isn't she?
Yes.
I'm not sure, but I think she is. But she was married to not Hoagie Carmichael.
Bogart.
Who's Hoagie Carmichael?
Hey, I
he's
once
famous.
stood in for him at Malabar Farm and reenacted the whole wedding.
Hoagie Carmichael?
No, not Hoagie Carmichael.
No.
Who's Hoagie Carmichael?
He is a famous pianist. No, this is.
He's not. No, Liberace's the most famous pianist.
Hoagie Carmichael and Stardust.
Right.
Oh, don't even need to go any farther.
No, that was Vladimir Horowitz.
No, it wasn't.
Have you ever heard Vladimir Horowitz do
Carmichael
it?
was Old Buttermilk Skies. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hoagie Carmichael invented the hoagie sandwich.
Lauren Bacall was married to Bogart.
What's Hoagie Carmichael got to do with this?
No, that word, it came out of my mouth and I don't know where it got it from. But anyhow, I like this. This is what she says. Imagination is the highest kite that one can fly. I like that.
I like that.
Imagination is very important. Not too many people have imagination. I'm
No.
probably one of them. I don't have much of an imagination, but I have grandchildren that have quite a bit of imagination.
That's good. Kids need it. That's when you have to develop it. Now, Marianne, it's the day. Can you feel it in your bones, Charlie?
Oh, my.
It's my favorite day of the week.
I forgot this is Tuesday.
All the gun shoot. No, not the gun shoot.
Originated by Hoagie Carmichael.
Shoe gun.
Feng Shui.
Feng Shui.
Feng
that's it,
Shui.
yeah.
Shoe gun.
Feng Shui
Feng Shui.
Feng Shui.
is the ancient
Yeah.
Chinese art of living, and I've talked about it for quite some time, and if anybody gets tired of it, just let me know, and I won't talk any more about Feng Shui. It's kind of interesting, though. Today I'm going to talk about nature, and the Chinese say that when you're working in your garden, you should stop and savor the colors of nature. They have great healing properties, and they can soothe the mind. Another thing, the upward shooting, rounded leafed indoor plants increase the oxygen in your house, and they lift the energy in your house. So you should have that kind of rounded leafed indoor plants. Put fresh flowers in your living room and in your workplace, because, but then you have to make sure that when they start to fade, you get rid of them, because they they create a negative energy. Don't have plants with horns, such as cacti. You should not have those in the home. And the reason that the Chinese say is that they give out bad energy, and they may cause arguments even. Use outdoors, however, they will protect your home. They from anything entering your home or workplace, any bad vibes. Place plants near your computer, and what that does is it helps to absorb harmful energies being emitted. You know what they said about fluorescent lights? You shouldn't have fluorescent lights either. And then, last but not least, avoid using dried flowers in your your home, because they represent dead energy. Next week it'll be color and scent.
Great. That's exciting.
According to the Chinese. And again, if you think this is getting to be too ridiculous, we'll talk about fall fashions.
No, it's fascinating.
No.
It's fascinating. I like it.
Well,
to tell you the truth.
these are not my comments, obviously. They're feng shui.
Where do you get those feng shuis?
It's research.
Where do you research that?
You can research it on the internet.
Is that where you got the toilet thing? Was that the internet?
All of these things are from Chinese feng shui, and you can find them anywhere if you want to research them.
Now what was that?
Look it up in the encyclopedia.
I got a phone call? Okay. Hold on. Marianne, say something. Hello?
Hello?
No, don't say hello to me. Hello?
You said Marianne, say something.
Sure. Oh, I'll let her know. Okay. Hoagie Carmichael called. He said he was not married to Lauren Bacall. And you have misstated again.
Bogart. I think I said it several times.
Yeah, but Hoagie Carmichael watches
I
that
don't
show
know why
often
that
when he's
just
not
came
playing
out
the
of my
piano.
mouth.
Whew. Now, Shannon, we're We're joined today by Mary Cook and Judy O'Hare of the Marion Tea Party movement. And Shannon, you didn't get a chance to ask any questions yesterday. I wanted to let you in today. Go ahead.
I'm not so sure that I have a question, but I do have something I'd like to say, and then perhaps you'd like to comment. One thing I find really admirable about the Tea Party, but most especially about your movement here in Marion, is the fact that you really are all about education. And I really like when you talked about that you were putting the Constitution in all of the classrooms, because really, I think our education system is in a bad place where students really aren't learning everything that they need to know about government, process of government, branches of government, the Constitution. I mean, I'm embarrassed to say that I'm not even sure I remember reviewing all of the amendments enough for us to really memorize them. So I appreciate you doing that, and I just think it's worthwhile.
I agree. Totally.
I have a question on that. When you distribute the Constitution to middle school kids, elementary school kids, as a movement, as a group, are you for the Patriot Act, or are you for freedom of speech, freedom of the government, or freedom of the press?
Well, of course we're for freedom of the press, freedom of speech. I mean, we're not for doing away with something that we don't agree with, so they should do away with it. Just like they want to do away with talk radio because a lot of people don't believe what is said on talk radio. But that's freedom of speech.
Right.
It's your freedom to turn it off if you don't like it. But it isn't up to the government to say it shouldn't be on.
I don't think the government does say that, do they?
Well, they would like to.
No, they have.
They used to.
Comments.
You had to give equal time. If
That's true.
And
Equal time.
why is it, though? I wonder when the president speaks, a member of the Republican Party, if it's a Democrat speaking, it gets same amount of time if he wants it.
That's
Is
true.
that a law? Or
No,
is that just a courtesy?
I think it is a courtesy, especially when they're running for office.
Since talk radio was brought up, because we've discussed it here many times, when our president is on, no matter who it is, but obviously right now it's Obama. When our president is on doing his thing and talk radio comes on in the afternoon, and by and large, I can't even think of a liberal talk radio success. It's Rush Limbaugh, it's Sean Hannity, it's all those people. Now, to come on and critique his policies, I don't think anybody has a problem with. That is freedom of speech. How do you feel when almost every day Hannity and certainly Limbaugh refer to him as the Messiah and things of that nature? Do you believe that's okay and that's acceptable?
I've never heard him say the Messiah.
He said that.
He says the appointed one a lot.
Yeah.
No, that's Hannity that says the appointed one.
I-
But Limbaugh is the one that says Messiah.
Yeah. What are you feeling on that?
Well, we listened to it against George Bush, for years that's happened, either on the radio or on TV or in the newspaper, the editorial page with the pictures. You can go down to Harding's home. You can see all of the critical. The criticism of the president of Harding.
Yeah, that's
that
par
was
for the
in.
course.
That's
It happens.
freedom of speech.
It happens.
Yes, it's absolutely
But
okay.
name calling never promotes anything.
That's right.
You're right.
Of course, there have always been political cartoons, but I think when you have a change in ethnicity of a president, I remember John Kennedy took a lot of
Because he was Catholic.
absolutely. And now Obama takes it because he's African American. If you criticize you don't think so?
No, I don't like his policies that they're criticizing. They're not criticizing him because he's black.
And the Tea Party would have formed even if McCain had won.
Marianne, do you want to take that one? Do you think that the Obama doesn't get criticized because he's of a different race?
I definitely think he does, yes. I just think people were not ready for a African-American president.
He could never have been elected without the white vote.
He was elected.
Yes,
Obviously, we were
he
ready
was.
for it.
He was elected.
But what
That's
was the
true,
whole
but
birth
there are a lot of
certificate
people.
thing? What was that? Did we ever ask another president to show his birth
Yes,
certificate?
McCain had to prove he wasn't a citizen because he was born in Panama on a military base.
Charlie, in your life, had anybody ever called for a birth certificate like they did for Obama? Which, by the way, he did show.
After Trump forced him to.
Trump forced him to do
Why
that.
would
Yes, he did.
Why would he have to be forced to do that? No other president was ever forced to do that. You can't be elected president if you are not a
So
citizen.
the simple answer is show your birth certificate and enter.
But why?
Sure, the
Nobody
FBI
else
and
was
the
asked
Secret
to.
Service, the
It
whole
doesn't make any sense.
I just told you McCain had to show that he had to prove that he was an American citizen.
When?
He was
When?
born.
I never heard that
Yes, he
ever
did.
before.
But you don't watch Fox TV. That's
That's the reason.
That's where we got it. Was from Fox News.
Well, you have to admit, though, whenever politics or religion comes in discussion, it gets warm. And sometimes it gets even warmer.
But no, here's what I have to say though, is when we just that argument right there of obviously that was not pro-Obama, those remarks. Why would a Democratic candidate feel comfortable coming to something when they're coming in, they know there's an opposition point of view against them?
If they are liberal, yes, there will be. If they are conservative Democrats, are you telling me there aren't?
Oh, no.
Conservative Democrats?
There are conservative Democrats. But I'm saying,
Why wouldn't they feel welcome?
I don't know. I'm saying, why would a liberal Democrat want to come, is what I'm saying.
Okay, if they believe in their position, they should be willing to defend it. We are the public. We are the people who elect the politicians. Why wouldn't you be comfortable defending your position if you really believe it? So if they do, then why wouldn't they come forth and present it?
I think the answer to that from the majority of the public would be because, as you guys have said, you're not a party.
Nope, we're not.
Right. Not anybody can just call a politician at home, so on and so forth, and say, what do you think about this? Give me your answer on this. It's a person's prerogative to come to one of these things or not, and if they feel they're going to get slighted, much like people feel they're going to... There are several Democratic candidates who will never go on Fox News. There are Democratic candidates who are never going to go on the Rush Limbaugh show, are never going to go on the Hannity show, because they know that's a bit of a railroad for them.
Okay. Well, then do you think that if we have a survey like the Abigail Adams project, where you aren't asked any political questions, just on values, do you think the candidates, be they liberal, conservative, will have a problem filling those out honestly? So
No.
the public can know?
No, I don't, but I think when values, I'm not sure what that has to do with taking office.
That's the problem we have now. We don't have enough people in office who have values. And by that I mean principles. And if they ask for your vote and then turn around and do exactly the opposite of what the people expected, I don't call that principled, and I don't call that sharing my values.
I don't know. I guess it would be what the definition of values were, because obviously the big ones that are always going to come up are abortion, and certain people feel a certain way and certain people feel a different way. And if you would go to a pro-life seminar, of course, being pro-abortion is going to be bad for you. It's going to be a bad way to go. But doesn't mean you're immoral if you have a differing point of view. Morals are, the big ones: murder, rape, anything that you can be arrested for. That's moral. Opinion and moral, I don't think should be overlapped. Am I wrong on this, Mary Ann?
Well, it's a little complicated, a little more complicated than that. But I think I know what you're saying. But I don't know. There's a big difference between the two parties right now, and what is so pathetic is I think that Congress has disappointed all of us, Republicans and Democrats alike. They have not worked together. I mean, they're stalemated, and they're not interested in the country. They are interested in getting re-elected. And I think the American people are really fed up.
Right.
With both parties. I'm sorry.
That's right. That's the reason I said, even if McCain would have been elected, there would still be
nobody.
There would still be a Tea Party.
Well, that's true.
Because what we are is against the government no longer listening to the people. They are owned by the lobbyists?
Oh, the lobbyists are just ruining the country, and they spend millions of dollars on these candidates, so the candidates will do them what they want to do.
Well, I guess though, here's where the problem lies for me, and I think the majority of the audience. Lobbyists do ruin the country. Do we need them making decisions for us? I don't know. That's your own opinion. But the biggest lobby in the United States is the NRA. The NRA always, without doubt, supports the Republican candidate, who is, in most people's opinion, the conservative candidate. If you would ask somebody, what is a Democrat? They're going to say liberal. What is a Republican? They're going to say conservative. When you go, I think the problem that the Tea Party has, as you say, in name, when people think they're terrorists and all that, I don't believe that.
That's ridiculous. That's nonsense. That's what it is.
But when you say we want less this, less that, more moral, so the biggest lobby supports the Republican Party, and the Republicans are not saying we're not going to come to this thing because they feel comfortable. They feel the Tea Party is their party. The Tea Party has never ran in a Democratic primary. They've always ran in Republican primaries. They've unseated Republican people in the primaries. I think that's the tough road to hoe here for people.
No, I think the Tea Party is very strong, quite frankly.
Absolutely.
And in fact, I think the Republicans are running scared. I really do, of the Tea Party. And they're trying to court them. And but getting back to our congressman, I think the one thing that should really be a law that should be enacted is this campaign reform. I mean, the millions and millions and millions of dollars that are spent on campaigns is obscene. And the more money you have, apparently, the more votes that you can get. And I think it's obscene, quite frankly.
I have to say something here because you talked about the NRA.
Mm-hmm.
They endorsed Strickland for the governor of Ohio.
Well, that surprises me.
That does surprise me. I don't know.
I never heard that.
This is a good question. How do you feel about Governor Kasich?
No, she's talked about Strickland.
I know, but I'm asking, how do you feel about our current governor?
I don't know. It's a little, 6 months since he's been in office? We don't know how successful his policies are going to turn out.
Does the Tea Party movement have a stance on the union issue that he's big uproar over?
Take it, Judy.
Well, we just feel that who's protecting the public when the unions have negotiations with the city councils and with the school board? Then who is protecting the public from those negotiations? And I believe with SB 5 that brings it back to a more level issue to allow the citizens
What do you mean
to have
by
an input.
What do you mean by protecting the people? I don't understand what you mean.
Well, the unions negotiate the contracts with, say, the city council, but city council, if they're Democrats, in order to stay in power, they need the unions, so they negotiate those contracts to favor what the unions want.
And we pay the bill.
And we pay the bill as citizens. So who's protecting the citizen from higher taxes?
Because the unions are lobbyists too. Unions are lobby representatives too.
Martha, you haven't weighed in on this. What do you think of the Tea Party?
Well, I think they act like they've got a lot going for them, and I'm very proud that they're here today.
That's right.
They've really given a lot to us.
I appreciate you guys coming because I think we do need to have these conversations so people can know exactly what is on the table. Before we get on out of here, though, today, we do need to go to our quizzer question. And the quizzer question is brought to you by O'Michael's Fish and Chips, 1116 Mount Vernon Avenue here in Marion, 725-3474. And if you are the first person to answer today's quizzer question correct, on the Exchange Marion's Facebook page, you will receive a free fish dinner from O'Michael's Fish and Chips for one. Today's question, name 4 of the stars of the movie version of On Golden Pond? Who were the 4 main stars of that movie? Charlie?
I only remember 2 of them.
Give me 2.
It was
Give me 1.
the lady that had the squeaky voice. She had problems getting older. You know who I'm. And then the daughter, the father of the wife.
Henry Fonda.
Henry Fonda. That's
Henry
You're not
Fonda.
going to win a fish dinner like that, Charlie.
My father in World War II got Henry Fonda to autograph a dollar bill.
You still have it.
No, he spent it accidentally.
Marianne.
Well, Henry Fonda was
Henry
one of
Fonda.
them, and his daughter, Jane Fonda, were in it.
The lady.
But that's what she asked me, the mother.
Was that Catherine Hepburn?
Yeah, that's it.
Martha, do you have any guess? We need one more. We got
Sounds
3.
like it would be right.
Any guesses?
Sam.
Shannon, do you?
I'm actually ashamed I don't know because...
Well, that was before your time.
No, but when I was a little girl, my parents insisted that my brothers and I watch On Golden Pond with them. We're like, oh, we don't want to watch it. But
Yeah.
we did, and it was a great film.
a great movie.
It really was, so I wish I knew.
Well, hey, you know what? Mary Cook Judio here, thank you so much for coming in. That was a very interesting discussion.
For inviting us.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
Hey, check back tomorrow for the answer, and we'll be back tomorrow with Dr. Scott Gray.